Hey everyone, this is Bales. I'm at FantasyLabs looking at our new NHL player models and going to show you the few different ways that you can build lineups for daily fantasy hockey. A lot of these resemble the other sports, and then there's a few differences that are hockey specific. So you can still optimize a lineup based off of your model. So to create the true optimal lineup based off of the player ratings in your model that you create after you create and backtest a model. You can also build a lineup manually by locking in players at each position in the same way that you would on DraftKings or FanDuel. You can lock those in and save them as a group. You can lock them in and optimize them. You can lock them in and just build manually, which is something I do a lot. When you have a lineup you like, you can click Save Lineup. It'll go to the Lineups tab, which I'll show you in a second. You can also build stacks. So this is a stack builder similar to what we have for NFL, but you pick the line type. So you can pick power play, full strength, or both. Pick the players and positions that you would like in the stack and build stacks based on rating or pro trends, and you'll get the highest rated groups of players from your particular model. So this group of 4 have the highest cumulative rating of any stack in this particular model, and if you change your model, these will change to accommodate that. So you can click those and add them to the lineup builder and build around that. You can save them as a group, and that'll go to the groups tab, and you can see all of your groups right here. And these groups can be added to the multi-lineup generator, which is the third way to create lineups. So you can create anywhere from 2 to 500 lineups. You can diversify as much or as little as you'd like. And so if you set the diversification meter to 0, we will give you truly optimal lineups. So if we do that, you'll get 10 lineups that are the true optimals. So you'll see the ratings are very, very close to one another, and you're going to have a lot of players with really high exposure. You can also randomize. And it's not a true randomization. It would be randomized based on your model. So players who are rated higher have a higher probability of showing up in your lineups. Or you can do something in between, which is generally what I recommend if you don't want to take on all the risk of optimizing and you're going to have players in a set number of lineups. That is somewhere between optimal and more or less randomized. So one thing you can do is set exposure to a group. So say you could set a group of 6 players if you want, or 2 or 3 or whatever. Say you want this group in 50% of lineups. You do that. So you don't want to diversify much, and you want no player in more than 70% of lineups. That's the max exposure you can generate. We'll do 10 lineups, generate those lineups, and you'll get 10 lineups with that particular group, that stack, in 50% of those lineups. And you'll see that here. You can actually change the exposure right here if you would like to. So if you want a certain player no more than 30% of lineups, you can do that. Click Save, Regenerate, and you'll see that the exposure has changed. The player dropped to 20% of lineups, still have this stack in 50%, and you can build lineups that way and really create customized lineups by setting min and max exposures, setting exposures to groups, diversifying as much or as little as you'd like, and then ultimately saving the lineups. And when you save the lineups, they go to the My Lineups tab. You can see all the lineups here. You can see all of your exposures. You can edit lineups just like you can on DK.